All right, everybody, he is the Stanley Cup clinching, 4-ring wearing, cannabis curating, Lemieux Mari Detroit legend. He is Darren McCarty. There it is. There's that logo right there. You know what? This is way off topic, right from the get-go. How cool is it to you that when you Google your own name, that immediately the Darren McCarty cannabis logo pops up first? How awesome is that?
Let's just take a minute and let it sink in for you guys. What do you think, dude? That's just great. That's the biggest joke, like the biggest. I always say, whether it's God, your higher power, whatever greater than yourself that you believe in, that you aren't the end all be all. That's the biggest joke because of the fact that this is for all having all the cups and scoring the goal and stuff. And I would never change that, but I know what my purpose in the bigger picture of it. And that I'm the most proud that I have my own cannabis brand that I have. You know, my dad always told me is if you don't like it, do something about it. And this is it. And I've aligned myself. You know, I'm lucky to be in Michigan where it's forward thinking. I like to say that the people in Michigan, it's about common sense. That's why gambling's legal and cannabis is legal, but it's the medicine of it. So to be able to see that, it like the legit, you got to know that when it's got my name on it, and I just released my my first strain, my first seed. It's called Black Eye. So pretty much when you smoke Darren McCarty's Black Eye, it'll feel like you got punched in the face. Closest thing I can give you to a black eye, but it's you know. And if you're a cannabis enthusiast, it's Purple Punch 2.0 crossed by Face Off OG by Fruity Pebbles. So
beautiful.
That's the one. Also, too, the difference. See how it works because my licensing with Pincana. So it's like signing a deal with the Detroit Red Wings. So Pincana, the largest seed to sale here in Michigan, and it's the growers, the Radical Genetics guys that grow my flower and grow their flowers. So the pre-rolls are stuff that is out of their repertoire. It takes a long time. This plant, it's resilient and patient. So I got a CBD roll-on that is e-commerce that you can get at darrenmccarty.com, and then the rest of it, as the laws work, you can get them. It's throughout dispensaries and through Pincana in Michigan, and I couldn't be more proud because this plant saved my life and what it means to everybody else. So it's the coolest shit in the world. To answer if you want to know, right?
Yeah. No,
if the next best thing to standing out there in a full crowd WrestleMania to like an entrance, right? Like the other day you saw.
Look at this guy with the segues. He doesn't even need us.
Oh, you guys like wrestling?
So fucking lutely. I
got a caveat this with the brothers of discussion.
Yeah.
Whichever one of you tweeted like a couple weeks ago or whatever like that. But somebody let D-Mac know that we're all about hockey and about fucking wrestling, and then we too, so we got to get on that, and that's as easy as it is in how you connect to whatever else what we're doing. Tell people that's as easy as it is. And if you say wrestling around me, dude, that's number one. That's my favorite sport.
Come on, we just said WrestleMania, Darren. What'd you think of Bianca's big moment?
Loved
she
it.
got her coronation.
Yeah, you know what? But that also goes to show the greatness of Sasha Banks. You're not only the match, and if you're, I'm a storyline guy, right? So the way the storyline played out, you look at the way that match played out with the hair and everything, and wow, the only thing harder than that slap of the braids across Sasha Banks' chest was Shohei Ohtani's home run the other day. That was immense. So what I'm saying, and when you saw you can't fake that. That's like the chair shots. That's why you have to respect, and why they're my favorite sport is because I can never be disappointed because it's not, real life, but it's also too, when you look and see these guys are the greatest stuntmen and women in the world. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like you're watching stunt people, and then, here's the thing. WWE, that's that's Vince's system. That's the dictatorship. Whatever they do, like today, we're talking April 15th. You look at the release. They released Samoa Joe. They just signed Chelsea Green. They released her. That's what they do. But I don't put any. They have no emotional.
That Samoa Joe cut is stunning, Darren. Like I can't tell you how much I loved not just him, Joe working in the ring, but on commentary. I thought he was incredible.
I like him better in commentary.
When he would call Drew McIntyre matches and say, "Give us a kiss," that popped me every single time. That guy had such a way with words, and he was so good at naming the holds. And we kind of got that botch fest with Michael Cole barely knows what a suplex is, and I really think they're kind of missing the mark letting Joe go. That's a big.
Of course, but here's the thing, right? Is that as you'll see how it all plays out. I don't think it was one of those things that there's probably rumblings that he's leaving, because Samoa Joe, dude, that he's AEW, even Impact all day. But his that's why I love D'Lo Brown on Impact. And we did an interview. I do a wrestling perspective.
Oh, D'Lo. Love some D'Lo, man. Yeah.
Right. But you love it. And when D'Lo Brown tells you, he doesn't know the outcomes of the matches, so he calls it as a fan. And that's what I love. That's why I love Excalibur, because he knows every freaking move in the book. And then Jim Ross will pull out something from Bobby Dickinson back in '63, that invented it. And it's like the old Ernie Harwell. I don't know if it's true or not, but it sounds good. I'm entertained. I
love that confidence. Yeah. Excalibur is a freaking encyclopedia. Love that dude.
I love that. And here's the difference, right? Where I'm only into win-wins, right? I'm not here to argue anymore. I'm here for what do you mean by that? And AEW and Impact and Forbidden Door, whatever it is, I see those guys and I know those guys. So they're having as much fun as it looks like. And that's how you put on super matches. You watch AEW last night, they lead off with a 35-minute tag team championship between unbelievable Death Triangle, Pac, back when he was
Pac is incredible, man.
What he can do and what they can do. But to put that match on first and it just blew it up. That's what they do. They have a grasp of what they are and who they are, and they love what they're doing, and I love supporting that.
Yeah, you brought up Jericho and Stone Cold, and it's funny that WWE is doing that now, because it looks like AEW is starting to build all these bridges to, like Impact, like you mentioned, Japan, Mexico, bringing all these people in for a cup of coffee, letting them rub shoulders, and it's not just a monopoly anymore. That's WWE. You want to be your own, play in your own yard and not share your toys, that's fine. But this is almost going back to like and it used to be geographic, where you would kind of tour and stuff like that. And now it's all the territory. Yeah. All these guys are kind of just, it's so exciting. You never know who's going to show up. All these guys are buddies, like in real life. It's really exciting, this move by AEW.
Now, let me ask you guys this as a wrestling fan, right?
Yeah.
Because I love like being the Elite and the Guevara vlog. Like I love to see the behind the scenes and get to know these guys a little more, even if it's characters, or then you see them drop the kayfabe a little bit, to the point where MJF is MJF 99% of the time, which is why he'll be around and be a great heel for 25 years, right? He's got it figured out.
Yeah, he was healing it up when he was, 5 years old on that Rosie O'Donnell show? Did you ever watch that?
I'll tell you this. I'm not going to give you any secrets, but I believe, the vulnerable Maxwell J. Friedman that is who's now he's taken over. It's like the Joker and stuff like this. But that's why you can root for him, because on the inside, there's one of us in there playing this character that always knew it. Think about this, right? There's only certain amount of people that can flip off a kid or talk to down, somebody in these situations and get away with it because it's who they are and they've nurtured that. You look at even yesterday, the conversation, how he just will talk his way out of Mike Tyson, punch him in the face, even though it's a bit, but he's got that, smart. And I love that because that's what I love about AEW. All these, the way they've set the storylines, all these different factions. You got like you said, you don't know who's going to battle who out of where, up this, that, this. Is so much talent out there, and it's great to see.
Yeah, that comment you made about MJF flicking off a kid. I mean, when we lost Luke Harper, why is his real name? Thank you.
John Hoover.
And his kid was out there, -1, and MJF was the one guy to try and get heat on him, so he could get pummeled by a kid. And you're exactly right. There's no way he would get away with that without us having that understanding that he has that rich love and passion for that pro wrestling. So that's just another like microcosm example of what you're talking about.
Right.
Absolutely.
And all you have to do is look at the vibe around how it fills in, right? Because in that AEW, every story or whatever, it's hard to tell, but you know that they're all in it together. Whether it's if you watch the darks and you watch everything else and you see all the dark guys at a ringside and being a part and they're all in it together. And I love anything that I see the win-win in or people trying to promote each other and boost each other up instead of pushing each other down. And there's still the entertainment value. That's why I watch WWE, I watch WrestleMania, I watch all this, but like I said, I don't put much stock into it.
Yeah, I think what you were just saying too goes into what happened today. Like when we saw those the release superstars, and then everybody from every corner of the pro wrestling community is saying, support so and so, help them come over here, tell the brands that you want to see them over here. I thought that was amazing too, with all that internal support. I'm gonna pivot here though. I want to go a little bit more fun with get away from the politics. What do you guys think about that go finisher last night? Just a punch to the gut takes out anybody? See that last night?
But it's building on if you're gonna take Cody Rhodes out with the same punch the week before as you're developing the factory, he's gonna be known as that punch, just like whatever, because he's the boxer. He's gonna have to evolve it. Just
right.
We mentioned Jericho. Look at how many different, from the Lion Tamer to the Moonsault to that as the character develops, and I think as he becomes more, because he'll be like, how Kurt Angle came from being the wrestler guy, but then turned into the wrestler guy.
Right? Yeah,
right. Like nobody did it better than him. From going from legit to, I was seeing him wearing the little hat and, like goofing around and knowing him a little bit, just to hear him talk about, the love of the business and stuff. That's when he gets comfortable. Then I see, but it makes sense. Like storyline is, well,
absolutely.
He's a bronze medal boxer. And if he punches you in the stomach, that's it. You're done, especially if you're a jobber.
Yeah, like I was always a huge fan of like the Master Lock when they used to do that just on like Monday Night Raws. You'd have Chris Masters put a guy in the Master Lock. That would be his whole segment. Like if you build up a guy that his punch takes you down, like I think that's amazing. I wanted to bring it up because it was huge on Twitter the last 24 hours because people hated it. I thought it was beautiful. It's a great way to introduce someone.
No.
Right, but no, it might be. But again, you look at how much they've turned the Hurt Lock or the full Nelson, right? That's the most devastating move by Lashley now, which before when anybody would do it, who was it? Lanny Poffos or whatever, but everybody break out all the time. Or
Yep.
So it's how you use it and you watch because, it's just that sort of thing. But the reality is that I think that if a bronze medal boxer of his size openly punches you in the right spot in the stomach, I think it's game over. So it makes sense.
We were going to do some icebreakers here, and they were all going to revolve around pro wrestling. One of them was going to be AEW or WWE, so I think we got that answer. But
it sounds like Darren's all elite for sure.
I'm all elite, but I'm both. But I put it. I'm a fan of wrestling and a fan of storylines and a fan of characters, and I call it like I see it. Like if you stuck the Roman Reigns triple threat match from night 2 onto night 1, that's a 10 out of 10 fucking. I love night 1. That match made night 2 a 4 out of 10, right? Because the first night was a 9, and that was like, what the fuck, Alexa? What? Wait.
Did you like Michael Cole calling a box? What about Michael Cole calling a box-like structure? That was poetry. That was poetry.
See, but here's the thing, right? And Michael Cole's got the worst position or whatever. Now, like Adman Furt is now batting there or whatever, but because everybody just listens for Michael Cole to fuck up.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
That's all it is, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
they,
he's like a
same,
Lions quarterback. He just can't win. Like he can't get a break.
People do the same thing with Jim Ross, but Jim Ross has the credentials, and it's AEW that everybody's like, "Fuck off!" It's Jim Ross, right? Right?
I will
don't
say,
care. Nobody
I'm a Jim Ross
slobber knocker, and Jim Ross can fuck up as many names as he wants. He's Jim fucking Ross.
Well, Kenny Omega, Kenny, when he starts doing the Elmer Fuds about halfway through the show, I'm like, let's just turn it down a little bit, turn up the Excalibur a little bit on the old radio there, and we'll kind of go from there. But,
Wait, here's the question I was going to ask though. Darren, you've got any wrestler, any generation, you're giving them hockey skill. I want you to put somebody on the grind line. You could replace Drapes, Maltby. Who's going to fit the best? Who would you want to see out of every pro wrestler you've ever seen? You're giving them hockey skill. Who's joining the grind line? Do you mean,
does the Goon's not part of this, right? Because
no,
the Goon is first round pick.
So if you want an irritating you want a Maltby replacement, so somebody who's as irritating and talented that you sort of have to like Chris Jericho is not only one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, because Kid Rock told me a long time ago, what makes a great band isn't, the bells and whistles and whatever. It's duration. It's longevity. It's reinvention. Follow Chris Jericho, not only professionally, but personally, we're the same age, and to see different things like that, I think he'd be a perfect Maltz replacement, because he can play it as hard as you want. He's got some cheap shot in him, but he's also got some finish, and his old man's Ted Irvine.
Yeah.
So, so he's got hockey in his blood. So it only makes sense, right? It only makes sense. But, I'll tell you, one of my buddies, Terry Guerin, Rhino, I'd like Rhino to sit on the end of the bench.
Yeah, Dearborn boy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like him to sit on the end of the bench. He doesn't have to play much. He doesn't have to skate, but he can just sit there and growl at people, because, he can be that size and stuff like that. If stuff goes down, I want him in my corner. But no, Jericho just, because he's got grind line mentality, right? And that means, the greatest thing, we could all play, but our hockey sense, and we were all on the same page, right? That's the thing. So he could plug in, and you see that in wrestling, right? Where it's the guys, when they get in, and then who are the great dance partners? And it's not, a lot of times it's not the guys that get along, but they can bring something out in each other in the ring. And, so the grind line goes to Chris Jericho, the demo god, for sure.
Yeah, I think as far as being flexible, I mean, Jericho has said, I'll main event, I'll pull the curtain, I'll be in the mid card. We've seen him do all that. We've seen him fight Shawn Michaels for titles. We've seen him in the middle with Kevin Owens and his best friend storyline. And we try to forget, but right? When he lost the Fandango too.
Dude, and then he reinvents himself and goes over and headlines the Tokyo Dome and creates the opportunity to blow, all these guys that we never heard of. Like, I never know Kenny Omega, and I didn't, still a few years ago and stuff like that, to get into New Japan. I was aloof on it, but did I get into it? And did I get into it quick? There's some unbelievable wrestlers out there. Honestly, the best WWE brand is NXT, and those takeovers are bar none. I mean, that I'm glued to that. I'm glad they switched nights, because now there's no flipping back and forth. They're having to wait to watch it. So NXT, and that's because you can see the influence of guys that have been there in the Triple H's and the Brett Michaels, or the Shawn Michaels, same thing, same sexy boy.
Yeah.
But they both wear chaps, so what the fuck?
Right.
Yeah, no, that was the perfect. That's actually.
But and then you see, right, and so I'm happy that Rhea Ripley, got her opportunity, and because she deserves that. Then the only reason she didn't get it last year is because of Charlotte. But again, Charlotte's queen, so what are you gonna do? It's all the way it works out. But I love NXT. That's like one of my. As far as the WWE product, because they put on their takeovers are unbelievable.
Yeah,
for
it
sure.
is. The only bummer, I think, coming from them moving from Wednesday to Tuesday is that you did see they kicked up like the competitive nature of storytelling, like to the nth degree. I think on both shows. I'm not saying that this will immediately equal lazier storytelling. Not saying that, but I think there is that competitive fire that gets lit when you're both on the same night. Now I think it's going to be about who can best each other in the million ratings, or AEW got the 1.29, I think. So yeah, now they're going to be in that battle, who could break the million mark. But it creeped in the back of my head. That's what happened today. Thinking about NXT and AEW, could they get like a little like rest on their laurels? Just kind of be like, we got some victories.
So here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
In my opinion, anyways, AEW ain't competing with WWE. They've set off on their own with their storylines. They're so in depth, and it doesn't change. Obviously, there's competition. WWE, because, and here's the thing, right? The difference between scripted and somebody writing something for you that you have to repeat that you don't believe in, as opposed to everybody in the AEW and Impact and whatever, that's them. They're living their characters and they're coming out. So that's that win-win that you see. So to your point, I would expect that if you see storyline suffer, it'd be more in NXT than it would be in AEW. Because you got to look at this too. What did AEW do? They got Tuesday Night Dark, right? Yeah. And they got Monday Night Darker, or whatever the hell they call it. It's a big show. But so what I'm saying is they don't, and that's the whole thing. We take it back to there's all different candidates out here. I don't compete with anybody. I compete with myself, and to get out the stuff that I know that works for me. So if you're an alcoholic insomniac, I turn you towards my stuff, because that's what over the past 6-7 years that I've been concentrating on. It's the same thing in the wrestling. When you got guys that can be like, look at Rusev / Miro, right? That's the savage animal, that freaking dude. That's a beast. I want to see Miro and Lance Archer. Lance Archer, the Murder Hawk's one of my favorite guys. Just because, dude, like, I believe him. Everybody dies and he dies last.
Did you ever seen him in the Indies? He shared a video today. He used to actually pick out 2 little kids in the crowd and chase them down to try and build heat mid-match. Like, one of the most brilliant things I've ever seen. Like, not even like what MJF does is great, but picture Murder Hawk coming at you.
No, that's the beauty of the indie shows. And speaking of Rhino and stuff, that's what I love. Yeah. The indie shows around here is, they'll take each other out to the crowd and use a kid's shoe, bang a guy's head against the shoe, let a kid kick the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love that. And that, to me, because that's the love of, it's just like me. I used to throw pucks out at the end of warm up all the time, because never forget what it was like to be 12 years old. Right. Yeah. So he's doing the same thing. And that little kid will never forget that. But everybody, we're all in together. And that's the whole love. And that's the whole thing about, you got to give all these companies props for doing what they've done and being able to continue to go through this pandemic without fans. A lot of these guys never done it without fans. So now it'll be exciting as we get back out there. And I think there's more of an appreciation on our part as fans, but also their part as performers too. And that know how that, if you've ever been, the energy in a show, it's just electric. Like the pops and stuff like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, we made it a tradition to attend. I think we did 7 Royal Rumbles in a row. We would just fly out wherever it was. Man, there's nothing like that. Doing that countdown. Pardon?
Did you have a favorite?
Oh, favorite Rumble? Gosh, we really loved McIntyre punting Brock Lesnar over the top rope. And we also got to see Edge return. That one was pretty hard to top.
That might be one of the best Royal Rumbles
ever.
That was
the last one, wasn't it?
Yeah, the last one that had fans. I think it was the best. People hate that Brock Lesnar stayed in for 15 straight guys.
No, that story was awesome.
That was amazing storytelling, and it was all the build up Drew McIntyre. So I think
here's the thing, right? Brock Lesnar is way smarter than everybody thinks. The only reason he doesn't talk is he sounds like an 18-year-old little girl. Or
no, he's got that Tyson voice. It's so unfortunate. Yeah,
his voice doesn't fit the monster, but he's one of the smartest guys back there. And you watch when he likes you, how he sells.
Absolutely.
Like he sold for McIntyre. Like, dude, that boot, the Claymore, and what I never like. If you watch all of the Claymores and all the ends, the Lesnar sells that Claymore as good as anybody.
Did you hear that anecdote where they were doing the build up to WrestleMania and it was Lesnar and McIntyre. McIntyre had already given him one Claymore, and you could see Lesnar prone, supine on the entrance ramp, and you could see him mouthing to Drew, "Kick me again, because he was trying to get over how dominant he is. And so Drew kind of like nodded and then took a few steps back, and Brock took, ate another Claymore just to help get this guy over. That's what, like, when you're a veteran wrestler, that's what you look for the most. And the way he's like put over little guys like Finn Balor, Daniel Bryan, AJ, and then realizing what an asset McIntyre could be for WWE, and like telling them, coaching them, like, dude, this is your moment. Beat the shit out of the beast. Give me another Claymore. Just incredible wrestling mind. Absolutely.
But that goes, see, that's what I love, even though I will complain about the evil empire in Vince McMahon and WWE. I'm still a fan because you get to see that more and more. And I think, with the Stone Cold interview and realizing that the temperature of the world has changed and we need everybody together, you know what I'm saying? Because we can all love all the same thing and make it all great. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the difference in the way it used to be. It used to be somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose. Now it doesn't. And that's a great example, because that is the old wrestling way, is on your way out.
Yep.
Show the new guy into it more, to speak. So I don't know. I'm a big fan either way. It's just, we'll all bitch and moan about different things. Absolutely. I mean, the biggest thing that I think I was upset about WrestleMania is that, like Tamina and Natalya being third generation, why can't they not win? Like, I thought it would be the perfect time. Instead, you want Nia Jax swearing at everybody. So
I'm a card carrying member for Riot Squad. I was proudly wearing my shirt that night and or Saturday, and they're the only legit tag team with a tag team name and real like matching gear out.
Yeah, and you look at the work that Ruby Riot's put in, and even Liv Morgan and stuff.
Is she one of the best sellers you've ever seen?
They're a synchronized tag team. They're really good. You just hope that they would be phenomenal in NXT. They would be great in NXT. You know what I'm saying? It'd be crazy, because I love did you see I love the Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon, and the crazy and stuff that they do. Then the Candice LeRae and the Gargano, and that sort of now you got Dexter Lumis and Indy Hartwell. They're like swooning on each other, being on
that S&M relationship. There's a lot to process and unpack on that one, for sure.
Yeah, we're all gonna be calling our therapists on that storyline.
That's brilliant, right? That's what I expect out of the Gargano camp. It's like Friday the 13th. Right, like, or it's more like Scream, which fucking, like, because you're gonna laugh and you're gonna shake your head, and sometimes it's really funny, sometimes it's really stupid, but I love it because he's committed to that character.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to be said for, you got to throw in the goofiness every now and then, and that, like, you're talking about like the old like Laurel and Hart, like, you need the straight guy. You've got Dexter Lumis in there that's never gonna crack a smile. And then you've got the goofballs like this. I mean, it's classic comedy. It's always been hilarious to have the goofballs and the straight guy. And this is just, if anybody's missing that, if they're mad about goofiness in pro wrestling, I can't help you, because it's my favorite part.
Trey Boyne. DarrenMcCarty.com. Real quick. DarrenMcCarty.com for everything. The new merch site's up, all the hats, everything, clothes, great. Any blue check marks, real Darren McCarty or official Darren McCarty. That's Instagram, Facebook, Darren McCarty 4 on Twitter. I run that one. So let's fucking go. Chirp me. I dare you.
Oh yeah.
But follow me if you're gonna chirp me. That's all I say. Follow us.
Got you.
But I'll give it back. But I'm not as mean as Kevin Durant. Anyways, that's pretty much, you can catch me Monday to Friday, 3 to 5, Woodward Sports Network on the Hook, and then other than that, I'm out and about. You can check DarrenMcCarty.com for my event schedule. Comedy tour May 7th in Royal Oak, Magic Theater.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Love that.
All right.
Yeah.
Stomping grounds.
That's
All right,
latest
cool.
and greatest. And if you're up in Flint on 420 on Tuesday, 11 to 12, I'll be at Green Galaxy up in Flint for 420.
Awesome.
So with some of the D-Mac product.
Woo!
So I
Darren,
appreciate it, fellas. Hey,
you're the man.
Hey, we'll do this again for sure. And I love what you guys got going on. And like I said, 90% wrestling, 10% wings right now. I'll tell you when you can switch it.
Beautiful. Yeah. We'll have you on for wrestling. That'd be great. Thanks, Darren.
All right.
Fantastic
All right,
to meet
guys.
you.
Appreciate
Here.
it. Thanks. All right.
You bet.